Moving into the exercise portion of this module, we're actually going to get on the floor and do some things. So the first exercise reset, number one, is deep diaphragmatic or belly breathing. Now, this should be a review from module 4, where we spent a lot of time talking about the importance of breathing. We talked about the ability for us to change the state of our nervous system from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic state simply based on how we're breathing. Okay, if we're doing deep diaphragmatic belly breathing, it's going to get us into a more parasympathetic state. If we alternated those nostrils, we could flip on the accelerator with our right nostril into the sympathetic state, or with the left nostril more the parasympathetic state. But for simplicity, we're going to talk about bringing the breath in through our nose and out through our mouth in these positions, okay? Very slow and controlled. But the first position we're going to do for this, again, is that block breathing, where you're going to have a yoga block or a towel, something like this. It's going to be positioned between your knees. You'll slide into a position where your knees are roughly 90 degrees. Then you'll lay back here and you'll work on that diaphragmatic breathing again. So again, deep breath in through the nose. Big expansion of your rib cage. And let it drop out. Okay, so that's position number one. Position number two, we're going to get rid of the block and we're going to bring our legs up into a hold here. Okay, same idea, comfortable posture. Let your body settle in on the mat. Take a deep breath in, drawing it in through your nose. Expand down into your belly, expand your rib cage out, and then let it out. And cycle through that for about a minute. That's position two. Position three is what they refer to as crocodile breathing. Okay, so now you're actually going to get over onto your belly so that you can feel a little bit of this movement better with your belly breathing by physically putting your belly on the floor and resting your forehead on the back of your hands. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Drawing a deep breath in, down into your belly. And letting it out. So the idea with each position, or picking a position starting from position 1 and progressing to position 3, but you'll be able to feel your breath now in different positions. The block breath breathing exercise being the easiest, legs up, you'll be able to feel it a little bit more into your belly because you're going to push this resistance a little bit against your legs being in that leg up posture. And the third, where you're physically pushing out on the floor by expanding your abdomen and your belly. So check that out. That is reset number 1, deep belly or diaphragmatic breathing. Exercise reset number 2 is head control. And the first exercise we work on diaphragmatic control because your diaphragm is connecting your whole torso. Again, it really is this cylinder of strength, or the top of that cylinder when we think about our core and our pelvic floor. So activating that really deeply is going to give you this cylinder-like strength throughout your core and your torso. In exercise 2, we're working on head control because head control is that vestibular system. We talked about their balance and our positioning. So where our head is and what it's doing, okay, allows us to move more effectively and more efficiently with better balance and better posture. So there are a few different positions and progressions to run through, so I'm going to run through those now. The first one, we're going to lay back on our back, and we're going to draw our knees up into this hold position, and then you're simply going to bring your head up and tuck your chin. So this is called a chin tuck, okay, not a head lift or a neck strain. And for these, we're going to control our breath in and out through our nose. Okay, so a little deviation here. We're going to start working the breath just through our nose. So we're going to do chin up or chin tuck. Hold for a second, and then back down. Hold for a second, and then repeat. Chin up or chin tuck. Hold for a second, and then chin down. So that's position number one. Position number two is what we call a quadruped. So using all fours, head nod. Okay, so this is where we're going to be sitting back, back's pretty flat, feet are flat on the floor behind us. We're going to sit back onto our heels to the ability that you can with your own flexibility. And then we're going to simply nod our head back to the ability that we can, and then drop it forward, and drop it back. So we're flexing our head down, and we're extending our head up. There shouldn't be any strain with this. There shouldn't be any struggle. There shouldn't be any pain. You go to the limit that you can right now. Feeling a little stiff from a workout. So I'm just going to take it through the range that's comfortable. Okay? And you're going to cycle through approximately a minute of repetitions there with that head nod. The third one is going to be quadruped head rotation. So this is where you get into a similar position. Okay? Sitting back onto your heels, arms underneath you, solid, anchoring down through the floor. You're going to pick your head up to what is a neutral position, and you're going to turn your head as if you're trying to look into your back pocket. Okay, so I'm turning my head to the left side, looking back at this back pocket here, and then back to the middle. And then I'm looking to the other side. The goal is not to shift your body to actually see your pocket, but you're just leading with your eyes and then with your head, trying to look back there. And again, you want to work the repetitions back and forth from one side and then the other. Very slow, very controlled. Your eyes lead first and then your head follows. And that's reset exercise number 2. So chin tuck to head nod. Okay, reset exercise number 3 is going to be rolling. So this is where we're progressing now from connecting the shoulders to our hips. We're getting our core involved with that deep breathing. We're working on our head movement to activate and engage that vestibular system. And now we're going to look at rolling around on the floor a little bit, just like kids do, because this rolling is going to start connecting all these things. So we'll be able to hold our core and roll from one side to the other. And so how you're going to do this is you're going to be kind of in that similar position where we're holding our shins, kind of when we were on our back, and you're going to lead and rotate your eyes again to the right, and then your head follows, and then eventually your body will follow, and then you want to try to bring it back. Okay? So this is more challenging of an exercise to do. And so I'm going to show you a modification in a minute. But the goal would be like this. I'm looking to the left, I'm turning my head to the left, and now I'm letting my body rotate over to the left. And then eyes come over, head goes back, and I rotate all the way over to the right side. And we keep rolling that pattern back and forth. The other one you can do is just easy rocking back and forth like this. If you don't have any lower back problems, if you do, I'd probably spare this one. But if we wanted to go to a modification, I'll give you a block modification. And so what we can do here is we can either put the block between the legs, or what we can do is leave the bottom leg down and bring the top leg over. And now we can just sit in a sideline position and practice taking our eyes and our head over and just opening up our body a little bit over to this side, and then bringing it back, and then you can switch to the other side. What it's starting to do is get a little bit of rotation through your core, but really connecting our shoulders and our hips. So again, take it really easy with these. You know, work on, if all you can do is turn your eyes and your head and you kind of roll and flop over, and then you got to get reset to go the other way, totally fine. In time, you'll be able to roll to one side and then start to turn your eyes and your head back and roll to the other side, and then you can get some rolls going front to back. Okay, reset exercise number 4, we're going to be doing a little bit of rocking. So we're going to be in a position on all fours here, hands and knees. And the goal here, we don't need the block for this, but you're going to get your hands roughly under your shoulders, hips sitting roughly above your knees, back, we can do camel versus cat, okay? and find the neutral position. And then what you're going to do is simply rock back, okay? And the goal here is to keep your chest, what they say is proud or upright, okay? So we're not folding in as if we're doing like a child's pose in yoga, but we're keeping a neutral spine. We're rocking back, our chest stays up high, and our head stays forward, okay? And then we're rocking forward. So rocking forward and back. Pretty simple exercise, but it's starting to get now some connectivity between your upper body and your lower body, moving all the big joints. So work on that. That's exercise reset number 4, rocking. The final reset exercise that we're gonna do in the 5 exercise sequence that we're walking through, just as a beginner kind of get started in this original strength program. And again, if you're interested in this type of work, there is one certified company that I know in town, Tucson Strength, with Mike Moran over there. He's awesome, and he can walk you through these and much more. And they have courses and programs for patients, courses for practitioners, but you can learn more of this cool stuff and apply it at a deeper level. But the last exercise that we're going to do is what's called crawling. So this is where we start to incorporate these cross patterns, okay? So we want to think about, can we actually crawl, and can we crawl appropriately if we're on hands and knees? So we have to alternate the movements, okay, appropriately to bring them forward and back. So we're gonna start on hands and knees. Again, figure out that cat-camel position. You don't wanna be rounded, you don't wanna be dropped in, you wanna find neutral. And then you're gonna alternate sides. That's a proper crawl. Opposite arm and leg go forward, opposite arm and leg go forward, opposite arm and leg go forward. And then you can work the reverse of that, walking backwards. If you want to up the challenge in time, you can get your knees off the floor. But I would say that's a little bit more advanced crawling technique. And the other thing you can do, if the crawling is hard, is you can do this on your back, and you can do kind of a crawl pattern where you're just moving the opposite arm and leg, okay? So if you're stepping forward and doing these crawls, you could do it like this too, okay? Where you're kind of crawling in space or crawling in air. And the third way we could do this is if we were standing upright, we can incorporate a little bit of marching. And to do this, we just want to take one arm to the opposite side. So kind of like this. And you could work forward, trying to cross over a pattern of marching. So these contralateral movement patterns, as we call them, engaging opposite sides, one moving forward, one moving back, are really fundamental functional movement patterns that a lot of us lose. And believe me, if you get on the ground and start crawling around, you're probably going to feel really uncoordinated at first, but as you practice it, it becomes easier. It's a really great core exercise as you advance some of these crawling techniques to work on your core in a new and fun way.